Alright, shut out the starting soon music. It's not regularly scheduled nonsense, but it is something. Now, fuck it. Okay, I gotta resize that group, Fuki. I'm not hiding behind Angel. I can't hide behind Angel. I'm not allowed to today. Also, Phoenix, do not perceive. You don't see me. You don't see me. God, this isn't a... Oh, this is gonna be a fun one.
You have a DDLC uniform.
Yep, Jade made me a Monica uniform.
Nice.
Only I'm not gonna go into your computer files and start messing with that shit. Just hats, yes, just hats. Hi, Jade. Anyways. Ah, shit, I forgot to set up background music. Knew I forgot something. Then again, Elder Scrolls music doesn't quite fit for this, so what do I have? I don't have anything, actually. Oh, fuck, I don't have fitting background music. Alright, fine then, we're just gonna deal with the eerie silence of the void. You just deal with the silence of the void. That's what you get. That's what we got. Ah, Saribot warning about ad breaks. Thank you, Saribot. Hold on, me fix. Do not always show messages. There we go. Alright. Oh, and there's the Vapor. The Vapor's here. The Dragon Fruit's here.
Yay!
Gotta just give him a moment. Yes, Vepper, it's time for suffering. I'm suffering. I'm suffering the horrors of being perceived with this stuff. Anyways, welcome, I guess, to, well, the show where I was reading out Twisted Wonderland fiction. The original plan was for me to read out other people's fanfics, but the authors who did get back to me had said no, and I'm not going to name names. Again, they had told me no, and I'm not going to send y'all out to them to bug them. So because I basically got told no, or ghosted, I have to read my own writing out live on stream with these two, maybe doing a couple voices just for fun.
Yeah, bye.
I know, Jay, but the sub goal was Twisted Wonderland fanfiction. I don't know if you've ever written Twisted Wonderland fanfiction. But anyways, this is part of a sort of a little series of snippets that I plan on going up on Archive of Our Own, with all the characters having little basically the characters having interactions, or just like, sort of like getting at least like a sneak peek into the relationships that most of the characters have with the fandom likes to call them Usonas. Alexandria Doe, this little miss right here, if you're looking at the Twitch stream. I had to use a pig crew for this, but if I was able to, I would make her look a lot rougher than this. She is supposed to be a exhausted, depressed mess of a woman who wants the fuck out of here.
Oh, goodness.
She's not having a good time being isekai'd. Jade, these aren't comedy bits, by the way. I don't think y'all understand. I'm an angst writer. I live off my readers' tears. Why do you think there's if you could see the list right now, because I have it pulled up on the list of basically all the characters in order and what's currently done. If you look at the Malleus one, the reader's tears will let me thrive for years with this one. Anyways, without further ado, before I psych myself out of this, we're gonna start off with Trey Clover and a well-fed prefect. I'm going to be doing narration, y'all popping in whenever needed for voices.
Hey. Alright.
Let me just take a drink and again try not to psych myself out here. When it came to the prefect of Ramshackle, there were a few unspoken agreements between her and the Vice House Warden of Parts Labule. If Ace and Deuce are causing trouble, go to her if he wants them to get their act together before Riddle finds out. When she needs Grim to hang out somewhere for a bit for any reason, he's getting dropped off at Hearts Labule to either hang out with the first years or for Trey to watch over. Yes, Jade, this is a fitting outfit. And lastly, never say out loud that he's helping to make sure she and the Dire Beast have been eating enough lately. It started when he'd walked by the table she, Grim, and Ace and Deuce were sitting at in the cafeteria shortly after Riddle's incident. What first caught his attention was that Grim had slightly less than he normally would on his tray. It was still a decent amount, but it wasn't piled as high as the strange cat monster normally insisted on. Alex, however, didn't even have a tray, and looked like she was about to doze off while Ace and Deuce were bickering over something he probably should have paid a bit more attention to. Alright, Trey speaking with this one.
Okay.
Right here.
Are you not eating anything today, Alex?
His question seemed to jolt her awake. Eyes opening wide in surprise for her expression returned to her usual deadpan. Just not hungry today. Need something, Trey? She answered while propping her elbow up on the table and resting her chin on her hand.
No, I was just curious. Are you sure?
Told you, I'm just not hungry. You don't need to worry about me. Unfortunately, it was a little late for that. His curiosity was already morphing into concern, but she clearly wasn't going to give him an answer, especially when her attention snapped to breaking up a fight between Grim and Ace. The third one that week based on what he could make out from her yelling. Hello, Hiragi! Wasn't until after class, when he was making his way to Sam's shop, did the answer reveal itself to him. He saw her lugging a large box, dragging one end of it on the ground, muttering to herself as she was heading in the direction of Ramshackle Dorm. Maybe it was years of being an older brother that made him rush over to lift the other end, or maybe it was a need to see if he could get an actual answer out of her that made him do it. Though he had to admit, her confused expression was actually rather cute. Can I help you, Trey? She asked. She looked from him to the box, stopping dead in her tracks.
No, I just thought you probably don't want this falling apart on you.
Okay, that was part of it. But he had a feeling if he said, I'm trying to figure out why you're lying to me about why you weren't eating today, would put her on edge. The one quick look at the label told him what he needed to know. It was labeled for a hardware company. Cheap, but still very pricey if she had to order something this big. Something had clearly broken at Ramshackle, and Alex had to find a way to pay for it while still making sure Grimm got his fill.
Here, let's get this back to your dorm, shall we?
All right, I guess, she said warily. It was quite an awkward walk back to her rundown dorm, her gaze clearly trying to scan his face for something as they finally arrived at the front porch and gently set the box down. Got it from here, Trey. Pretty sure I could convince the ghosts to get it in. Thanks for the help, she said as she turned to unlock the front door.
Wait.
It came out a bit more harshly than Trey had intended, startling Alex and causing her to whip around and glare at him as her keys hit the ground.
I wanted to ask you something.
That's why you decided to lend me a hand. What do you need, Trey? She visibly relaxed a bit as she spoke, crossing her arms and leaning back against the door.
I was planning on trying some new recipes for an unbirthday party next week, but I need someone other than me to help taste test. Having an extra opinion is important when making sure something tastes all right.
It was something he completely made up on the spot, but he had to try. She wouldn't accept the help if he straight up offered. I figured that out pretty quickly in the short time you'd known her. So all I had to do was hope and pray that this would work. She stared at him for a moment, let out a little humph, before nodding. All right. Don't see why not. When do you need me to taste these new dishes?
Tonight, if possible?
Let me get this inside, grab Grimm, and then I'll be ready to head over. And that was the day it started. Every time he noticed her eating less or not eating at all, suddenly he had new recipes he found that he wanted to try out. And every time she accepted the role of taste tester. He knew that she most likely understood what he was trying to do, but that need to deny help she clearly needed when she had someone else depending on her would only get in the way if either of them said what was going on out loud. She even seemed to be a lot less wary of him as they kept up this deal, relaxing more and talking a lot more than she had before they started doing this. It was a comfortable routine at this point, one that Trey hoped wouldn't have to end anytime soon, even though that thought might be more a little selfish. Again, not that long, but there we go, we got Trey.
Short and sweet.
Short, yeah, all these are pretty
Yay.
short. I couldn't make Trey's angsty. I couldn't. I didn't have it in me.
I mean, the only angsty thing was probably the fact that, like, Hats is, like, sacrificing, or that Alex is sacrificing her own well-being.
We all know for a fact, Crowley is not paying for shit unless he absolutely has to.
Then where the heck did Alex get the money for that tool?
Simple. What would have been her portion of the food money went towards it.
Mm.
I like it.
Yeah, not bad. Sunshine Boy's next, by the way, Angel.
Yeah.
I had to use the wheel of names to figure out what order all of them were going to be in. 'Cause if it was up to me, I would have been stuck looking at the list for hours, and it would have been blank.
Dang, real. Me too.
Hey.
But bit more on the Trey part. Oh, I've always headcanoned him as food being a sort of love language for him. It's not just baking, it's food in general.
Makes sense.
The man cannot stand the idea of someone not eating when they're supposed to. Alright, let me get hydrated here. And then we're on to Kaleem's.
Kaleem.
This one going from our dear ramshackle prefect's point of view instead of the guys.
Mm.
Alright. We ready?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
In the time since Alex had been dropped into Twisted Wonderland, it became very clear, very quickly, that Crowley did not have the best ideas. Oh, by the way, there are minor spoilers for Book 5 in this one. Shit, I forgot to mention.
Uh-oh.
Minor spoilers. It's not going to absolutely destroy, like, what the storyline is going to be, but it's... In order for this to work, I had to have this take place in Book 5. That was the only way for this to work.
Okay.
Sticking a homeless person who definitely did not travel dimensions willingly into a haunted building where if the mold didn't kill her, the floorboards falling out from under her certainly would. Only upsides to that were she not only learned about some home repair skills, the ghosts were actually cool to hang out with when they chilled out with the pranks. Force her to investigate someone sabotaging a tournament for a sport that she had only heard of that day under threat of starvation? Thanks, Crowley! Nearly getting disintegrated by a lion man having a mental breakdown was worth getting knocked out by Grim playing the sport she still didn't know all the rules of. But this, forcing her to house and act as manager for 7 guys for a singing and dancing competition, when most of them seem to only tolerate each other on a good day? Well, at least 2 of them seem to like being around people more than the others. Now, Alex had no idea what Rook's angle was, and at this point she didn't want to know. And Kaleem was just... Kaleem. Still, this had to be one of Crowley's worst ideas. This just might be the one that caused a blood vessel to burst in her brain and finally put her out of her misery. Especially a certain uptight, food-cursing asshole didn't stop complaining about the fact that she would have to be making a whole bunch of noise while she patched a leak that the ghost had spotted on the roof. "Keep complaining, Bill, and I'm drafting you into helping," she yelled as she stormed past the Palm 4 house warden for possibly the 3rd time in the past 30 minutes, trying to grab everything she needed to patch that leak.
Well, that makes sense that they would be cursing the food.
Yeah. Fuck, I can't remember who was voicing Vil.
I'm not sure. Did anyone have a voice? Was anyone voicing Vil yet?
He's only ever shown up for like 2 short little snippets, and he was only speaking in one of them. I don't think we even saw him in any of the side stories that we were going through.
Yeah, no. So we don't have a voice for Vil yet.
Oh, fuck.
I could probably he's supposed to be like Evil Queen, right?
Yeah, he is Twisted from the Evil Queen.
Yeah, okay. I could probably
Supermodel, movie star.
Ooh.
And the man has an obsession, and the man, if you think your average beauty guru goes to the extreme, this man, he also has no time for your gender norms nonsense.
Poor pronunciation. Okay. Alright. Okay. And he's a grammar Nazi.
Yes.
Your grammar and poor pronunciation aside, surely this can wait another time.
Vil responded, trailing behind her and trying to get around her so he can block her path again.
A calm environment is important as the Spudlings finish their homework.
You ain't contributing to that calm environment much right now, Alex said as she began to pick up the pace just to try and get outside the dorm as fast as possible. Besides, leaks over your bed. And they were talking about it raining later tonight. Oh, that silence that followed her words was gold and nearly made all of this worth it. Hi, Sylvie. Yes, trying to pay attention to chat while narrating while also trying not to psych myself out here. But she couldn't take time to enjoy it. That leak had to get fixed now. No more distractions, no more stopping, no more.
Alex, have you seen Grim? My family sent over cookies he would love.
Well, if there was going to be a distraction, Kaleem wasn't the worst one.
Oh, wait, that was Kaleem?
Yeah.
I didn't know.
You wonder?
There was no indicator.
Sorry, I should... Note to self, remember a fucking indicator.
There was no indication who that was. Like, I
you
mean,
want to reread it?
As a fan fiction, that's fine because obviously you say who it is in the next sentence, but since I was having to voice that part, I didn't know that was
I'm sorry, that was my bad. I probably should have for this put some indication about who was speaking. That was my bad.
All right, let me...
Yes, Sylvie, this is fanfic for the Pretty Boy game.
All right, let me...
Oh, Alex, have you seen Grim? My family sent over cookies he would love.
Well, if there was going to be a distraction, Kaleem wasn't the worst one. Anyone with Ace induced to Sam's shop real quick. She said she shifted the toolbox to rest a bit more comfortably in her hands. Not sure when they'll be back. Kaleem's smile didn't drop, though his attention was definitely drawn to her toolbox as she moved it.
No, I don't think so, Sylvie.
No, Merman A is not here. Alex does not give a fuck about Merman A. Knew the man for all of 5 minutes.
So what are you up to, Alex?
Just going to fix a leak in the roof. Got it fixed for tonight. She finally made it to the front door as she spoke, though she could hear Kaleem trailing behind her.
Do you need any help getting up there? I can go get the magic carpet from Scarabia and fly you up.
He offered. He then moved ahead of her, opening the door and holding it open so she could step through. Thanks.
Aw, such a gentleman.
Thanks, Kaleem. No thanks to the carpet, though. I've got a ladder I can use. He followed her outside to where she had leaned the ladder against the dorm, leading up to the part of the roof where William, Thomas, and Stretch had told her the leak was.
Are you sure? I can help.
Kaleem said. Alex simply shook her head. Pretty sure if I let you climb this ladder, Jamil would kill me in my sleep. No offense meant, but you don't look like the type to have any idea how to help fix this thing. She said she set the old toolbox down next to the ladder. There was also a pile of old tiles on the ground. Good enough tent patches until she saved up enough to order something better through Sam. Now she just need to figure out how many trips up and down that rusty old ladder is going to take to get everything up there.
Well, maybe you can teach me how.
Alex's head snapped towards Kaleem when he said that, her attention fully on him now as she stared in shock. People had a goal or some other motive when it came to helping her. That was how life had always been and most likely always would be. Most time it was easy to figure out what people in this school wanted when they helped her. Ace offering to cover her lunch. He wanted her notes for Train's class since she was the only person who stayed awake during lectures. Ruggy acting all buddy-buddy suddenly? Leona gave him too many things to take care of again. There were certain ones that were impossible to figure out. Hornton, Jack, Ortho, Lilia, and, well, the gently smiling Kaleem right in front of her. What could he get out of helping her with this? Or with anything for that matter? What could the Kaleem Aliceem possibly ever want or need from her? She couldn't find hints of a hidden meaning, and that look in his eyes was just so sincere. So kind. Maybe she could take the risk. Alright, let's go get the carpet. No way I'm trusting you on that ladder.
Wait, really?
His face went from surprise to being covered in one of the biggest grins she had ever seen.
You're actually going to let me help?
Yeah. Alex felt the smallest hint of a smile start to appear on her normally deadpan face. I guess I am.
Aww. Sunshine boy.
Sunshine boy learning a little more independence.
Yay.
Yes, Sylvie, this is my writing. I am dealing with the horrors of being known and perceived. Yeah. Kaleem was another one I just couldn't do angst for. Well,
Shine boy.
Yeah, he's Sunshine Boy. The story puts him through enough.
Mm-hmm.
And you're fine about talking. Hey, y'all talking helps me get some feedback. Most of the time when I ask for feedback for my writing, I hear radio silence.
Oh no. We all rolled a natural 20 for perception checks.
Yes, all of you rolled the nat 20. But with this one, I wanted to sort of with this piece, I wanted to show a bit more about how Alex sees the world. Just get a good, because again, she is firm in that belief of people don't help her unless there is something they could get from her down the line. Which is why Kaleem baffles the hell out of her, because she has nothing she could ever give him. But he still wants to help her out and still wants to hang around her. So their friendship is just him just being himself and her just staring at him in confusion.
It seems like quality time and acts of service seem to be like big love languages for him.
They are. The man just likes being nice. Why the fuck did he willingly go to a school full of villains?
I mean, I don't know.
Well, you'll find out in book 4. I ain't saying nothing. Anyway, on to Lilia's. With featuring a little glimpse of Malleus.
Ooh.
So, hydrate real quick. There's not much talking in here. This is mainly just Lilia's observations. But there are still a couple lines. Alright, we all ready?
Yes.
Yeah.
Alright. Lilia had run into many surprises in his long life, and he had taken each one in stride. It simply came with the territory of having traveled so much and experienced more than the average person ever will. If he hadn't learned to roll with the punches as needed, his life certainly wouldn't have turned out the way it had. He definitely wouldn't have made the same choices he did, which was something he didn't want to imagine. The current surprise life had thrown him was one he knew he'd have to handle eventually. Every parent or guardian did eventually, but one could never be sure what kind of circumstances the situation would be. He'd been overjoyed to learn Malleus had finally made a friend. One that held no fear of him whatsoever. Finally, the prince wouldn't be as lonely as he had been. Things were finally improving for the Dragon Fae. He couldn't help but pry a bit when Malleus shared the news, wanting to learn all about this new friend of his. Not that he had to ask many questions before Malleus told Lilia all about her. She happily listened when he would talk about the gargoyles and grotesques he would point out to her on the campus. She also doesn't hesitate to joke around with him. In fact, she even gave him a nickname. Her facial expression was normally what Malleus had heard others describe as RBF. That was another shock, having explained to Malleus what resting bitch face meant.
Amazing.
Though she softened when he met up with her for their night walks. It's alright, Sylvie. Hey, this is all going up eventually on Archive of our own. She liked music, was good at repairing things without magic, had a little dire beast by the name of Grim. Wait a minute. The Ramshackle Prefect. Malleus Draconia's first friend was the Ramshackle Prefect. Alex Doe, the magicless human who bristled and bared her teeth at the world like a wounded animal waiting for another attack to come. The girl he had heard several other Diasomnia students say had the personality of a stray dog. That human. That human had not only befriended Malleus, but had absolutely no fear of the Fey Prince. He had to see this for himself. It took a little convincing to get Malleus to agree for Lilia to join the two of them on this walk. The poor boy seemed reluctant to have another person join in on what was seemingly something special between him and his friend. But the two of them knew the alternative was Lilia following the pair the first chance he got. Something that, according to Malleus, would upset Alex greatly if she ever found out. Which led him to now, staring face to face with the stray dog herself, who was eyeing him cautiously. Understandable, the two of them hadn't interacted all that often, and one of the biggest times they had, he had pushed the Savannah house ward into overblotting. Malleus is talking now.
Oh boy.
God's help me.
Child of man. Are you ready to go?
Malleus asked, staring at the human leaning against the porch railing of Ramshackle. Her attention shifted to Malleus as he spoke, her body visibly relaxing as she looked at him. Strange. Yeah, I'm ready. Curious what you've got to show me tonight, Hornton. She replied as she stood up properly. So the two really loved using those nicknames for each other. Yeah, next line's Lilia's.
I'm curious as well. I've always wondered what dear Hornton here got up to during his nightly escapades.
Lilia couldn't help but chuckle a little bit after he spoke, though he did notice how Malleus seemed to bristle a bit when he used the nickname instead of Alex.
Oh no!
She's the only one allowed to call him that, apparently. Lilia stayed quiet during the walk, content to observe the pair as they spoke. They almost seemed to forget the Bat Fae was there, so absorbed in each other as they strolled. That was fine. It gave him a chance to better understand what kind of friendship the two had. Lilia could see how Malleus's eyes lit up as she laughed while telling him what mischief Grim and the three ramshackle ghosts, William, Thomas, and Stretch, if he had heard correctly, had gotten up to earlier that day. The three came across an older part of the campus that Malleus apparently hadn't shown Alex yet. He watched how Alex stopped and listened intently as he began explaining how you could tell which historical period each grotesque was made in based on the art style. Moments like that kept happening and happening as they walked, until the realization finally hit Lilia and nearly made him choke on his own spits as the pieces finally started fitting together. A date. This has to be a date. He's third-wheeling a date. Do they even know this is essentially a date? Oh, if they don't know that, that is absolutely adorable, and if they do, he should really... You gonna live, Lilia? Alex's voice snapped him out of his thoughts. Malleus put a hand on his shoulder, staring at him in concern. Lilia talking again.
I'm fine. I'm fine. I just remembered something I had to do tonight.
He spoke quickly, already preparing a spell to transport him back to the Diasomnia dorm.
You two go on and have fun without me. Don't let me stop you.
Before the two could say anything, he was already back in the dorm, reveling in that giddy feeling about what he had just learned. His boy had found more than just a friend. Am I out of line for thinking Lilia's just playing weird?
You are not wrong. He can be eccentric at times. Yay! That's cute.
Again, just cute. Now this one, y'all don't gotta voice nothing. This is all me. 'Cause it's Grim.
Yay! The boy!
The boy! The sweet baby boy!
Little sad.
Sweet little boy! Henchhuman had always been what he called her the most. That was the name he used when he wanted something, and she was the one person who could actually make sure he got it. Granted, the ramshackle prefect would grumble and groan a good bit when he was saying it over and over again, but she would still try to get him what he wanted or needed. Henchhuman! I can't find the ghosts! I want to play Spell Drive! Alex had been in the middle of trying to make dinner at the time, and while she grumbled a little bit about being busy, she still turned off the stove and went looking for William, Thomas, and Stretch for him. Henchhuman, look! Sam's got a sale on tuna! He had pulled on her pants legs to get her attention as he yelled, pointing a paw at the cans. Oh, fuck it, now while I'm remembering this. Very, very, the tiniest tiniest itty-bitty spoiler for Book 6. Easily tiniest little spoiler.
Oh.
While she didn't put the whole shelf's worth of cans in the basket, she still brought home a little more than she usually would with their normal grocery haul. Henchhuman! Henchhuman! I can't reach the jar! Professor Carell had asked Deuce, and Alex grouped up for the class. She'd asked Grin to get a few of the ingredients while she and Deuce started heating up the cauldron. Unfortunately, once the Savannah Claus students had gotten there before him, saw him coming, and stuck the jar full of mandrake leaves up on one of the higher shelves out of the dire beast's reach. Alex heard him, apologized to Deuce as she walked over to Grim, and picked him up so he could get the jar himself. That wasn't the only name he used, of course. He used her real name plenty of times when he was scared or in trouble. That usually got Alex to rush over as quickly as possible, ready to fight whatever was going after him. Alex! He had cried when Floyd had gotten a hold of him in between classes, holding him up by his scruff. The eel merman had been caught off guard when Alex full body tackled him to get him to drop Grim. He was stunned long enough for her to pick up the dire beast and book it as far away from that touchy asshole, as she put it. that is something Alex would do. Floyd scares the hell out of her, but if he touches Grim, the fear goes out the window just long enough to save him. Alex, he screeched when part of Ramshackle's floor broke under him during the early days. She didn't hesitate to grab him, pick him up, and check him over for injuries. He had apologized about the floor, but she told him he didn't need to. She told him that she could always just fix the floor. And here's the spoiler section. Alex! He screamed and cried while stuck in that carrier when those weird metal bots kidnapped him and destroyed most of Ramshackle.
What?
We will get there when we get there.
Okay.
Interesting.
She had yelled his name and tried rushing over to try and free him, but the other members of the VDC group held her back from reaching him. And for the first time since he met her, he saw her crying.
Uh-oh.
Though when he woke up in Styx in her arms, quietly sobbing and reassuring both him and herself that Grim was okay, he knew he shouldn't have been surprised that she would find a way to get to him.
Oh.
Why have you been timed out?
What?
Why the hell has Vesper been timed out?
What? What did I do?
I don't know! Safi, why was Vesper Safi? Safi, what going on? Oh, it was it was an accident.
What?
Safi,
no.
Safi was tabbing through stuff and hit a wrong button.
Okay.
The panic I felt for a moment.
I didn't get hacked, I swear. God, I hope not.
No one got hacked. There was one name, though, he only said when he knew that Alex and anyone else that could be around could hear him. Or couldn't hear him. Fuck, that was a typo. Sometimes I type fast, sometimes I don't type as fast as my brain works.
Real.
Okay.
And anyone else that could be around couldn't hear him. One he had started using when Deuce talked about a letter he got back home one day. The things he talked about, it made something click in Grim's mind. He was afraid if Alex heard him actually call her this new name, she would freak out. He knew her reputation as the stray dog of Ramshackle. Well, yeah, he got to see parts of her that nobody else bothered to learn about. He also knew there was some truth in how rough and bitey she could be. Though she most likely wouldn't get angry if he started calling her this where she could hear him, he still didn't want to weird her out. After all, she may be an adult in the humans' eyes. She was still young. 18-year-olds were still teenagers, right? It would definitely be weird if she heard him call her this. But at night, when nightmares woke him up or when the creaking of Ramshackle won't let him sleep, he moves from his spot at the foot of their bed to Alex's side. Then he would speak. "Mom?" he'd whisper. Sometimes Alex would let out a small hum in her sleep, but clearly wasn't fully awake enough to be aware of what was going on around her. Then he'd curl up next to her, sometimes positioning himself in a way to where his head was resting on her chest so he could hear her steady heartbeat. Then finally, he would fall asleep next to the only mother he had ever known.
Cute.
Just cute.
Aww.
Just cute. We ready for the cute to stop with Jamil?
Oh no.
Oh, boy.
Oh no. What did you do?
What did I do? Oh, what did I do? Something that I have had an issue with the twist writers for a good bit. Granted, yes, there are spoilers for book 5, but it is something that I wish the twist writers would actually fucking handle.
Oh,
But
no.
they didn't. So I went, fine, I'll do it myself. Now there are big spoilers for book 4 in this as well. If y'all want to hop out of here and then hop back in a couple minutes, I don't blame you two.
I think I might just do that. I don't want spoilers.
Again, you are welcome. I will let you know when we move on to Rook.
Okay.
Vep, you're welcome to do the same.
Okie dokie.
Again, if you don't want book 4 if you don't want... Okay, there we go. I will get a hold of those two when it is time to move on. Because... True, I don't, but I also don't want to accidentally end up ruining the story entirely. Jamil didn't know what was worse. The fact that the two of them hadn't talked about what happened over winter break, or the fact that Alex seemed in no hurry to actually talk about it. Either way, the absolute indifference she kept giving him was driving him insane. It was easy to ignore when the two weren't constantly stuck living in the same place as each other. Before the VDC competition came around, the two would only really see each other in the hallways or when Kaleem would invite her over to Scarabia for a bit so the Alicine heir could hang out with his new friend. He could already imagine what his parents would think about Kaleem calling someone like Alex his friend. During those times, they would just catch small glimpses of each other, and it didn't feel like there was a chance for an actual talk about what happened to, well, happen. But here they were, living under the same roof, and the most he could get from her was a nod or a "Morning, Jamil." He was expecting the yells and snapping that was associated with the stray dog of Ramshackle, not this coldness. The others noticed, though Kaleem was the only one pushing to try and get the two of them to talk. Only he was now only pushing him to get the conversation started, because while he didn't hear what was said when he tried convincing her to actually talk to Jamil, it clearly did not work. So now all of his efforts on getting the situation dealt with were solely on him. See, this is why it's a good thing I'm reading this out loud to other people before I get this up on Archive of Our Own. I realized I missed that. Though he had done his best so far to ignore it. Then she went and did something that left him no choice but to start some sort of conversation with her. The latest bit of bonding the two had done while he wasn't at the dorm. "You took him up on the roof!" He yelled as he stormed into the kitchen where Alex was finishing making hers and Grimm's breakfast. Of course the two weren't forced to eat the same diet he and the others were on for this competition. She stared at him for a moment, finishing plating the bacon on Grimm's plate. "Good morning, Jamil. How'd you sleep, Jamil?" "I slept fine. Thanks for asking." "That's how you're supposed to greet somebody first thing in the morning," she said while she gave him her usual deadpan look. "Don't give me that. You took Kaleem up to the roof. What were you thinking?" "I did that 2 days ago. He only now told you?" "Figured he would have said something first chance he got." She picked up the plates and walked over to the dining table where Grimm was waiting. He was so damn proud about learning how to use a hammer and how to patch a leak. You should have seen his face. "That's not the point, and you know it!" He couldn't help but get in her face, her dark brown hair and black eyes now filled with irritation instead of indifference now that he was right in her personal space. "Do you realize how dangerous that was?" "First, back off!" she snapped, slamming the plates down on the table loud enough to make Jamil take a step back. "Secondly, it was fine. He brought the carpet over in case one of us fell. He insisted on helping, and he wanted to learn. Thought you'd be happy about him being more independent and learning to do things on his own. That independence shouldn't involve putting him on a roof that could fall out from under him if someone so much as looks at it wrong." "What, did you think I was going to shove him off of it? Or maybe you thought I was going to throw him out in the middle of the wilderness like you did?" Jamil went silent at her words, staring at her in horror. Damn it, looks like that conversation was happening now, and Alex looked ready to jump him if he said one wrong word. I've never thought you would hurt him, especially after you decided to do your best to help him during winter break. You mean when you kidnapped me and Grimm, used your match to make it seem like Kaleem was having some kind of mental break, and then tried leaving us in the damn fish mafia for dead in the middle of the desert when you overblotted? That's one way to put it. It's the only way to describe that mess. She finally relaxed a little bit, pulling out her chair and sitting down at the table. She took a few moments to collect herself before she started speaking again. You want to know the difference between when you overblotted and when the others did? She asked. I suppose, yes, he sighed. Riddle was having an actual mental breakdown. He didn't actually want to hurt anybody. Leona hurt people, but it wasn't a personal thing, at least when it came to my group. Azul left me and Grim homeless, and his overblot was another mental break, but he's partially made up for what he did when he helped us during winter break. You? She paused for a moment. You actually wanted to kill us for taking the wool off people's eyes. You took your issues with a Kaleem and a system that was stacked against you out on the wrong people. I don't ever give much of a damn what happens to me. I know my place in life, and I know my life ain't worth much. But Grim here? She looked him dead in the eyes as she stabbed her bacon with her fork, hard enough that he was shocked she didn't crack the plate. I ain't letting shit happen to Grim. I'm being civil, because Kaleem still wants you around. But if you're coming up to me, yelling like that again, civil's off the table. Got it? She waited for him to respond. All he could give was an understanding nod. Good. Now let me and Grim eat in peace. Civil, he supposed he could work with Civil. There we go. We're away from the spoilers. We are safe from the fucking spoilers. I'm gonna go poke. Gonna poke an angel in a pepper. Gonna poke him. Gonna poke him real quick. So if y'all have any feedback on that little bit, I am more than happy to hear it. Welcome back. We're free. We're safe. We're safe from the spoilers. At least the really big ones.
Okay.
And I managed to write a piece with the Frenchman without actually putting much French in there.
Oh god, I forgot that oh no!
Don't worry, there's next to no French in there. You're good, you're safe. You're safe from the horrors.
The French I would have been fine with. It's the fact that I have to give him an accent.
Oh no.
I can pronounce most French words just fine. It's just putting a French accent on English words is difficult as hell.
I know it is. But hey, Ace of Deuce making an appearance in this one.
Nice. Did Vesper see the message?
I hope so. Though this gives me a moment to hydrate, because I actually, holy fuck. All I will tell you about that one is that Alex was Mick fucking pissed.
Oh.
She and Jamil do not get along. She will be civil for Kaleem's sake, but that's the best Jamil's getting.
Oh. Okay.
Welcome back, Vipper.
Hello.
We are free from the big spoilers, but we're not free from the Frenchman. It's Rook's turn! It's Rook's turn! And he's the final one! And then y'all can throw feedback, or I could go hide in my little hidey hole.
Okay.
Let me just take a sip of my drink. Right, ready?
Yeah.
It's like you think you're suffering. You think you're suffering with these fan fictions.
You're kind of breaking up a bit there, Angel.
Uh-oh.
Oh, that one came out clear. I'm glad you're liking it, Hiragi. I'm dying inside. I'm dealing with the horrors of being known and perceived.
Die inside.
Oh, no.
I'm about to die inside because of my terrible French accent.
Honestly, Honestly, I don't mind the French accent is terrible. That just leads more into the idea that Rook is doing this French nonsense for shits and giggles.
Practice makes perfect.
Okay.
We all ready?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's staring at you again, hench human. One lunch. One normal lunch. That's all Alex was asking for. One normal damn lunch. No fighting. No weirdness. Just a normal lunch. But no, whatever cosmic entity that was having a laugh with her life decided that wasn't happening today. Don't draw attention to him, Grim, she mumbled for taking the last bite of her rice. Ace is talking.
Okay. Did you do something to get his attention?
Ace said and then took another gulp of his soda.
I mean,
Oh
You're not
my
exactly-
god, did you just
Huh?
see what
I'm seeing what
Hiroki
Hiroki just put in chat now. Oh gods. Oh gods. Ah. Excuse me, I'm trying to keep the screaming internal.
I mean, you're not exactly one of his usual targets, and you'd think he'd have gotten all he needed to know after the VDC.
You'd think that, but apparently not. Alex couldn't help but hiss out. Wouldn't be so bad if I could get a read on him, but trying to figure out his game is impossible. And Deuce's turn.
Maybe he's just lost in thought and doesn't realize he's staring?
Deuce spoke while taking a quick glance at the Vice House Warden. I knew I forgot. See, this is another reason why this is good. I'm looking at words I accidentally missed because the brain working faster than the fingers.
Yeah, verbally reading out your writing is a very good proofreading technique.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Deuce spoke while taking a quick glance at the Palm 4 Vice House Warden. Deuce, we've lived with the guy for a bit, Alex said while gathering her things and get ready to leave. Do you think he's really the type to accidentally watch somebody?
Point taken.
Exactly. She did one last once over that she had all of her things. Anyway, I'm out of here. Gonna see what Train wanted to talk to me about before next class. Here he is.
This is it.
Here's
I'm
Hans.
leaving you.
I need to think. Oh my goodness, this is the hard thing with the French accent for me, is that I can't even imagine how it's supposed to sound in my head.
The problem is that whenever
I
I
can't
imagine
think of
a
a
French accent, my default is the
person.
Monty Python one.
Even for, let's see, I don't know, Widowmaker from Overwatch, hell, just, try the gray stuff, it's delicious! I don't know, Lumiere from Beauty and the Beast, if you still want to stick in the realm of Disney.
What is the gray stuff?
The Grey Poupon.
There's a theory. There's a theory that it's foie gras.
Could be.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. Anyway, oh god.
Just do your best.
Oh shit.
Oh,
Sorry.
we dropped something?
I was trying to reposition and I pushed my desk a little. No. What is this? Sophie. I don't even know who that is.
Think Killer Chat. One of the Killer Chat characters is very much French.
Oh.
She is unfortunately French.
Yeah, I haven't watched any of that. Okay. Okay.
Just do your best.
Okay, I'll try.
you like some company, mon trickster?
Hey, that was really good.
I don't know if that picked up.
It picked up.
Yeah.
That was really
okay.
good. Oh, what a stroke of luck for Rook that Alex's current instinct was to freeze instead of taking a swing at him. She slowly turned her head to face him, coming face to face with that damn smile. That damn unreadable smile, and eyes that felt like they belonged to some predator waiting for her to make one wrong move. She had two choices here. Sit back down and stay with Ace and Deuce in hopes that
Tialer? Thank you, Hiragi.
She had two choices here. Sit back down and stay with Ace and Deuce in hopes of there being safety in numbers, or... Nope, all good. Got Grim. Bye! She said as she rapidly picked up the dire beast, tucked him in her underarm, and nearly bolted out of the cafeteria. Second choice was deciding not to deal with that today. Based on the fact that he was keeping pace with her, she was going to have no choice but to deal with him today. Based on the fact... No, I already read that part out. They were halfway to Train's classroom before Alex finally stopped dead in her tracks and whipped around to face Rook, nearly dropping Grim in the process. Okay, what do you want? Watching me is one thing. Following me is another. She growled at the vice housewarden, who currently had his hands up in an attempt to placate her.
I heard the southern accent.
You finally heard the southern.
It was when you said another. Anyway.
I simply realized there is one major part of what makes you you that I never uncovered during our time together.
Rook still looked so calm. Well, Alex still felt like she had to wait to see if this man would pounce or something.
That is an important piece of
It cut out a bit at the
every
last.
person.
Oh, there we go. Now I hear you.
Oh, okay. Do you want me to do that again, or?
If you feel up to it.
Okay.
Something that is an important piece of every person.
And what could that be?
What your passion is.
She had to have burst a blood vessel or something at the cafeteria table. That had to have happened, and this conversation is some weird dream thing her brain was giving her before the end. What do you even mean by passion?
I mean, what you wish to dedicate your life to. I managed to figure it out for all of our VDC comrades. But never for you, mon trickster.
That smile still hadn't left his face.
Have to figure out. It's important for a hunter to know exactly how his prey's mind works.
You're a weirdo, you know that? Was all Alex said before making a beeline to Train's classroom, with Grim shouting his agreement as the two walked off. She could faintly hear his chuckle as she left Rook behind, her mind starting to wander to what he said. Passion. What was the point in someone in her shoes having a lifetime passion? And there we go, that's the last...
So you don't get bored?
Oh, when the Malleus one comes out and y'all ever read that, you're gonna understand that bit. The one that says right here, the reader's tears will let me thrive for years with this one.
Oh boy.
If I ever get DMs about that, I mainly expect them to be like, what the fuck, why?
Okay.
Like, Alex does not... all I will say is that Alex does not have the highest opinion of herself.
Mm.
Anyways, that's all the ones that are complete. Silver is still very much a work in progress, and as you can see with all the others, there is still a long way to go. There is nothing. Hell, Floyd's all the way down here, and I have no idea what the hell to do for Floyd other than him being a fucking menace. God damn it.
Let me in! Let me in!
Go the fuck away!
Yay! Floyd!
I cannot be contained by this wall of psychic energy. Can't hold me for long, Shippy. I will get out.
That's glass! Surely you know what glass is!
I can't tell it's the same color as water, which means there's no color at all.
Did you put him in a fish tank?
No, just stuck him in another room!
That'd be so funny.
Sees reflection. Hey, stop copying me. I'll make you eat those words.
Bonks head on glass.
It's like, good, he's stuck in the fish tank. That buys me like 5 minutes without him trying to grab me. Till he realizes that he can get out of there.
It's that compilation of animals seeing a mirror in the wild.
And then Jade just comes up with like, what happened?
Jade walks in, wonders what happened, and then he's just laughing.
Jade, I didn't know we had a third brother.
And then Jade is just like calmly walks away.
While
And
trying
then
not to
Azul-
laugh his ass off.
Azul walks in and goes, I need more morning coffee.
Hey, boss, why is Floyd... It's like, hey, how'd Floyd get in the fish tank? Well, apparently Shrimpy told him that he could squeeze her as long as he wanted, as long as he went in there and found what was called a butt for.
Listen, Dragon told me that if they would pay me an undisclosed amount if I didn't bother them for a week, as long as I put Jade, or if I put Floyd in there, okay? As I said, it was an undisclosed amount, so I'm not telling you how much it was.
She hasn't paid you, has she?
It's currently under negotiation. Now leave me alone.
The only note he's gotten back.
I owe you.
An IOU, and there's a drawing of a middle finger.
I think he fell for the whole like, I will pay you $1 million to do this when you don't actually have the money.
It's
not like he had her sign it. It's not like he had her sign a contract.
Dragon's like, wait, I can cast a spell. Here, it just uses one finger.
Yeah, Alex. Hey, Azul, I can cast a spell. It's this one. Joe gives him the middle finger.
It's called the bird.
And Azul,
let me help you find out why.
and Azul's just there wondering what the fuck that is. I don't think anyone in the Twister Wonderland universe does that. So.
Well, because Disney won't let Yana put it in.
Yeah.
The funny thing is, the funny thing is about all of Alex's shenanigans, she does tell Malleus about them. She does tell him what goes on. So certain overblotters are probably currently sweating buckets when they realize, oh fuck, she told him about that.
Why does it feel weird that Jade and Floyd are so far apart on the list?
I don't know, the wheel decided that.
Ortho
is Edie's little
Ortho?
brother. The robot child. The weird robot child.
Oh, right.
The one we don't question for now.
No, I don't question her now.
Don't question the robot child. though I do at least have like a plan for like what I do for Edia.
Mm.
You ever? I know it's rare, but on occasion there are those people who realize that they live like really close to their online friends on accident. Like the ones they've been talking to for ages, like, damn, you're fun. Hey, you said you've been needing something. Here, I'm gonna order something for you. What the fuck? That's right down the street.
I mean, I'm kind of sad we didn't like you hadn't got. I feel like the hardest one for you to write is gonna be Caters, just because you have to like figure out all like the chat speak and all that.
Oh god.
It's gonna be the
social
chat
media.
speak, but also because Cater's gonna have to deal with one struggle. Alex
What's
hates
that?
having her picture taken.
Mm.
You point a camera in her general direction, she's going to be getting out of frame as fast as possible. Doesn't care how blurry the picture's coming out.
Natural light.
I feel wait, but doesn't Cater manage to get pictures of her anyway?
We don't
Yes,
talk about
but
that.
catching her off guard. By moving quick enough that she doesn't notice until too late. She unfortunately is not gifted with magical super speed. She is normal human speed.
It just makes me think of like the end of the winter break starting and him going and like, let's get a picture.
Alex is like, no,
Just really
no,
quickly
no. Ace
snapping.
and Deuce dragging her with him like, nope, nope, we're not doing this alone. Probably gets so many comments on his magic cams. Why does that one person look like they really don't want to be there?
Because they don't.
This isn't about them.
This is not about them.
Like, he catches Alex in the background of one of his selfies and she's glaring at him. Someone comments, hey, Cater, I think she's about ready to kill you. This isn't about her.
Takes like a picture during like a major incident. Why is that cat drowning? This isn't about them.
Oh, come on.
It's the drama.
It's the drama. Well, you know what? He's getting his fucking character development here soon. He's getting dragged through the character development pipeline by Yana next.
Dun, dun, dun.
At least in the next part of book 7, poor guy's getting his character development. He's not gonna like it.
Dun dun dun. I'm gonna have fun with that part.
But that's in book 7, and we don't get the newer parts of book 7 the same time as the Japanese server does. We gotta wait.
Well, we still got a bit of a ways to go through the other chapters first, so
Yeah. Oh gods, I'm still stuck in book 6. I'm almost out, but I'm still stuck.
Mm.
I had to move the save over to my phone temporarily just to be able to get past certain parts. Because with the emulator, I couldn't do it.
Oh no.
And it was not the rhythm game sections that made me do it. No. They threw mini games at me.
Oh.
Mini games that the emulator would not have been able to keep up with if I wanted to actually pass.
Oh no.
Damn you, Disney! But that's gonna be it for stream. I might in a little bit move over to General VC to show off me like finally playing Identity 5.
Ooh.
If anyone's interested.
That's the DVD clone, right?
Yes.
Or am I thinking of something else?
It's the DVD clone, yes.
They do look again, the character designs in it look very interesting. Again, just very like ragdoll, like Nightmare Before Christmas-esque. Well, no, more Coraline.
Yeah,
Coraline
was very much heavy inspiration from the character designers.
Coraline.
It is pretty.
Ah, that makes sense. Especially for that scientist. He got button
Correct me
eyes.
if I'm wrong. Didn't they collaborate with
I remember because
They
people. Because the
collaborated-
thing is,
They've collaborated with
Go ahead.
Persona. They've collaborated with
Yes.
Danganronpa. They've collaborated with Bungo Stray Dogs. They've
Oh
collaborated.
God! Oh God! Why?
They've collaborated
Danganronpa,
with Little Nightmares.
Why?
I just remember. Okay, so the weird.
Why?
So the funny thing about
They've had a
Persona 5
Sanrio
collabs-
collab.
Oh my god.
Why did you pronounce it that way?
I don't know how else to say it.
Danganronpa.
Oh, I
Bum,
thought it
bum,
was about the
bum, bum,
Bungo
bum.
Stray Dogs.
But
I know that the little like audio thing at the beginning of the game goes Danganronpa, but that's
It's
not how
what
it's
the brain was telling
Japanese.
me. I know
I-
it's not. I am unfortunately not Japanese.
the only reason I know about the Persona 5 collab is that apparently there is a stipulation with Persona 5 involving mobile games that it's apparently been a really common theme that if a mobile game collaborates with Persona 5, it is a last-ditch effort to raise download and player numbers, because it's almost always like when a game collaborates with Persona 5, they close the servers like a month or two later after the collaboration's done.
But here's the thing: they
So a
didn't
lot of
this
people-
time
Oh,
with
dear.
this.
Yeah.
It actually
so, like,
worked.
I mean, there will be outliers, but it's just like people get really scared if like if you see your favorite mobile game collaborate with Persona 5, everyone freaks the fuck out because a lot of people see it as a bad omen still.
Oh no.
But this time it wasn't a bad omen. It breathed enough life to get it to 2020, and then the popularity exploded.
Huh. Well, 2020, more people had reason to play it at home.
Yeah.
Anyway.
And then eventually gave
Dang.
NetEase the go-ahead to give it a PC port, which exploded even more.
Oh shit! I didn't know about that. I thought it was still only mobile, but
Yep, nope,
if
I've
it's-
got the PC version downloaded and installed as right now.
I don't want to. I
Leave.
don't want to get into it, but the
Join
kids
me
designs
and
are so
Ruby,
pretty.
join me and Ruby.
Oh my god! Can you DM me the PC link? I have to make room on my PC, and I've been meaning to.
It's
vet
not
out
a
some
giant
files.
game. It's not a giant game.
I
Wait,
need to
is-
vet stuff out anyway.
Yeah, I've got the link to the official
Wait,
website.
is it free?
Yeah, it's free. It is 100% free.
I'm probably sorry. I'm just gonna quickly say this because I know I'm gonna forget. I might send you some stuff of some pics of you have taken in 14, because that's probably the first thing I'm gonna start. I'm gonna be like, hey, these are screenshots I have of you. I need here. You're getting these, and you're gonna be the master copy because I need room in my PC. And then
All right. Hold on.
but yeah.
I'll hold on those, but I'm going to not really planning on doing a raid tonight, Jade.
But thanks so much for having us, Hats.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Thank y'all for joining me and
I'm
not letting me
exci- I'm
suffer
ex-
alone.
I'm excited to get back into these.
Yes, we will tomorrow night.
Yeah.
We're gonna try to get through more of book 4. And then maybe I will show you the
Yay!
Jamil piece.
Oh.
But anyways, I'm gonna hop out of VC. Talk to y'all in a minute. Bye.
All right. Take care.
Bye.
Alright, but for those who did tune in, I do hope you enjoyed. Streaming schedule for the upcoming week should be out on the Discord and up on Blue Sky at some point tonight with the schedule for the upcoming week. Though I will be back tomorrow night for some more Twisted Wonderland with everybody. I do hope to see y'all there if you can make it. But as always, my name is Dragon, and bye-bye.